So there's a spooky theory going around that Nami could be related to Shepard Somers, the Holy Knight, making her a disgraced princess of sorts. And this is completely ridiculous. This all stems from the cover art of Volume 113, in which we see Shepard Somers and the rest of the Holy Knights in their official colors for the first time. And we've covered this on the channel before. However, it appears as though people are relating Nami to Somers just because both of them have orange hair. This is completely ridiculous because people are acting as if Somers and Nami are the only characters in the series with orange hair. Let me remind you, Neptune has orange hair and also shares a birthday with Nami. So I'm just pointing that out because I've made videos before about Nami potentially being a fish. So check those out. There are a ton of them. But with that being said, another reason why this is ridiculous is because this is a theory of the same ilk of theories of yesteryear. Because back in the day, people would often say that Killer was related to Sanji because they were both blonde. I'm not crapping on these types of theories. It's just that you gotta look for more character similarities other than just hair color. Because from what we've seen from Somers, he is nothing like Nami. He doesn't go after treasure. He's not concerned with riches. He just likes slaves. He just likes torturing slaves and keeping slaves. That's all he's about so far. Nami doesn't keep slaves. People are enamored with her and call themselves her slaves as a joke, but she doesn't keep slaves. She was a slave, so why would she enslave anyone else intentionally? Doesn't make any sense. But looking at the powers, looking at the abilities, Nami, again, nothing like Somers. Somers doesn't have some sort of psychic-esque ability to tell the weather, and Somers is in no way related to the weather or navigation whatsoever like Nami. And in reverse, Nami is not related to plants. Plants are Usopp's thing. Nami has nothing to do with plants, and her only devil fruit associated ability is from a devil fruit construct from somebody else in Zeus. So no, there are no character parallels between Shepard Somers and Nami. And when you're talking about Nami possibly being a princess in the future, I think this too is nonsense because much like Sanji, if she had any royal connections, they would have been hinted at fairly early. Like how in Jaya, Sanji says he was originally from the North Blue. And at the time, that was pretty weird. But that gets explained later, and it turns out that he is the disgraced prince of the German kingdom. And then if you're going off on other Straw Hats that may or may not be Straw Hats at this point in time, but have been Straw Hats in the past, looking at Nefertiti Vivi, she is connected to royalty because she is the princess of the Alabasta Kingdom, and the Alabasta Kingdom is a very, very important place in terms of lore, as we have found out in the last few arcs. So she is very important still. And in elbaph, she could have left a sort of call sign for the Straw Hats, because in the paper, we see that Luffy in Gear 5th has an X on his arm. This is a callback to the promise of camaraderie that the Straw Hats made with Vivi when entering Alabasta and leaving Alabasta. And at the time in reading the paper, none of the Straw Hats knew what this meant because none of them, other than Robin, knew Vivi. And even so, Robin, even though she was on the ship when the Straw Hats were giving their salute to Vivi, she has no idea what the X means. So this is presented in a similar fashion to Luffy's whole 3D 2Y message that he left the Straw Hats when the time skip was about to start and the pre-time skip was ending. So I would say that the X here in elbaph left by Vivi most likely is a callback to something like that. But with that being said, you should leave me a call sign and click that subscribe and that like button if you are enjoying the video so far. And if you can find it, find that hype button and click it too. It's very much appreciated. But moving on, when talking about future Straw Hats as well, and those characters being related to Holy Knights, we have Bonnie and Loki. Bonnie, most likely, is the child of a Holy Knight, because in canon, we know that she is a child of a celestial dragon. That much is certain. But she might be the child of Figurlin Shamrock, because it's very interesting that when the supernovas were gender swapped, her gender swap variation looks like Shanks in a hat with a anti-eyebrow. So, with that being said, we know that Figurlin Shamrock is the twin brother of Shanks, so it's very likely that she could be the daughter of Figurlin Shamrock. This would make sense too, because we find out very recently that their father, Figurlin Garling, is a horn dog as well, and will lay his seed down in the oddest of places in order to sire children. So, like father, like son, Figurlin Shamrock might have done the same thing to Jenny, and that resulted in Bonnie being born. Also, of course, Bonnie, like Vivi, is technically a princess, as she is the princess of the Sorbet Kingdom. Now, talking about royalty again, we have Loki, the disgraced prince of Elbaph, who was given an invitation to be a holy knight by Shamrock and Gunko, but of course, he turned it down. So, when you're talking about characters associated with royalty and the Holy Knights, I would look anywhere else but towards Nami. Also, of course, there's the bit with Brooke having a relationship in the past with Gunko. So we have two Straw Hats, kinda, associated with royalty, and we have a Straw Hat associated with the Holy Knights, and then two potential Straw Hats who are associated with royalty and the Holy Knights, or at least the Celestial Dragons, because we know that Bonnie's father is at least a Celestial Dragon. But Nami is none of these things. She has no relationship with Somers that I can see, other than hair color, which again is ridiculous. But with that being said, give me your thoughts and tell your friends about Polypede Waxen.